Okay, the next subject folks wanted to hear about was our involvement with the civil rights movement. Well, Bob and I have always been pretty much on the liberal side of things to begin with, but how did we actually put that in action? Well, they were starting to integrate the high schools, the Colonel White and the Fairview. Although Colonel White more because of the area that they served, which was lower Dayton View. Well, we decided that we would rather have our girl, and of course it was only Missy and Randy at the time, that we would rather have the girls go to a school that was integrated so they would learn that there are other people in the world and they would learn to be more tolerant, we had hoped. So we decided not to move north like so many families did so that they could have that experience. I remember black kids coming into the house, black girlfriends coming into the house for, whatever kids do. And, I can remember the look on one girl's face, which evidently she lived in Lower Dayton View. And she walked into our house and looked around, and you would have thought she walked into the Imperial Palace. It was kind of that sort of a thing. Well, then the other big issue that came about was, should we integrate the schools? Which of course means busing, the terrible word busing. The studies at that time showed that if you integrate kids of higher capacity with others, the ones with lower capacity and lower achievement would improve their work, and it would not hurt the achievements of the grades and so on of the kids with higher. So we really fought a lot. Uh, it went through a pretty big battle actually of integrating the schools, and that had to be done by busing. We wanted to do it not just citywide because uh, the city was now getting to be pretty much, I think, majority African American, but to do it county-wise. Well, they invited me to go to a debate at Kettering and Fairmont East High School. It was a PTA meeting. The auditorium was filled right up to the top of the balcony, and I'm debating these issues with this fellow on the school board down there. Well, when our debate was over, did they come at questions with me? It was brutal, but I had already, what the hell, I had been out of the army. Nothing's going to bother me a whole lot, and they really came out. It was so bad that one of the women from out there stopped me as we were getting ready to leave and said, Mr. Bettman, I don't agree with you, but I have to apologize for the way these people were treating you. I said, thank you very much for coming. Well, as it turns out, the whole thing wound up in the federal court system, not on a voluntary basis. And there was a federal court here in Dayton that ordered the desegregation and the busing, which was the issue. Well, so now the time for busing is coming around. Now, all this, by the way, what I'm saying, it took some time to happen. The police chief calls me. There's one other minister over at the seminary, and I were very active. They call us down. They need to confer with us. So, of course, we go down. So we're going to this big conference table with a big square table. There must have been 20 people in there. And they want to know, on that first day of busing, what kind of security should we offer? And I answered, I said, look, guys, I run a pharmacy. What do I know from security and what you're going to have to do on this first day of busing? Thank you very much. So now, the first day of busing comes, and they decided to put a kind of a guard, kind of a person on each bus. Do you know what? There was not one incident of trouble. There was not one problem and all that sort of thing. Now, I'm sure it impacted many lives. I'm sure the folks who were in East Dayton that felt very strongly about this whole integration and busing thing, who probably moved away. Uh, and of course, what that did is, as the whites were moving away, the blacks became more and more prominent, or more populous, and you can't desegregate if you don't have anybody else to desegregate with. Hence, our Dayton public schools now are, except for the specialty ones, are probably all black. But yeah, well, that was our issue. But I think one of the important things I think often when I see Melissa or Randy operate, they're not intimidated. They're not they're not troubled by being in a multicultural, a multi-race situation, because they had good friends who were who were black. So anyway, that was.